Hey, Yugioh. I guess I could try that again. Good morning and welcome to Back to Yu-Gi-Oh! This is episode 12. It is Saturday and I actually overslept, as you can see by my wonderful outfit and hair. So, because it's already 11, I need to change and head to the store, and that fast, so let's do that. What just happened? Alright, I guess there was a slight malfunction, but at least I think I'm ready, so I'm gonna go ahead to the store and play some Yu-Gi-Oh! So let's see how we can do today. In round 1, I played against another Infernoid deck that's 4 weeks in a row now, and once again I had really bad hands, which is for the whole tournament this weekend. I really had bad hands overall, but as I said, this week Infernoid again, and I lost 0-2, nothing I could do. So let's head to the next game. In round 2, I played against Shadow Invoked, another game that I've played multiple times in the last weeks, and again I had pretty terrible hands, so this game also went 0-2. And now let's head to game 3, which is full coverage. He goes first and starts by playing Terraforming into Magic Meltdown. That gets him an Alistair, which gets him an Invocation, and then he goes into his extra deck and summons Almirage, and from that a Secure Gardener. Next he plays the Invocation and summons Invoked Mecha-Phantombeast. After that he shuffles Invocation back into his deck and gets his Alistair back to his hand. Then he plays Nadir Servant, which gets him a Apocalypse in the grave and gets Ecclesia on his hand, which he then special summons. Next he special summons Dogmatika Maximus, and we both have to remove 2 cards from our extra deck. Through the cards he removed, he gets back Shadow Schism, then he sets 2 and also gets Dogmatika Fleur-de-Lis. On my turn I activate Scrap Factory, then I play Scrap Recycler, but he negates it with Mecha-Pa. I play Kismek Orochi and remove 8. Then I play Mind Control and try taking his monster, but he activates Shadow Schism and removes this monster and another one from the graveyard to special summon Shadow Construct. I attack his Ecclesia and then I pass turn to him. On his turn he activates another Alistair to get an Invocation. He then activates Invocation, removes 2 of his cards and special summons Invoked Mecha-Phantombeast. After that he turns his Maximus to attack position, gets his Alistair back to his hand, summons Fleur-de-Lis and attacks for game.
Round 2. Fight!
In round 2 I get to go first. I start out by playing Scrapyard and getting a Scrap Beast to my hand. I then play a Scrap Factory, normal summon Scrap Beast, and then special summon Scrap Orthos and destroy Scrap Beast. That triggers Factory's effect, so I get a Recycler on the field. Recycler searches me a Searcher to the graveyard. I then link into Wyvern. Wyvern gets me back an Orthos and destroys it, which gets recycled on my hand. Searcher gets special summoned and I forget to special summon through Wyvern, so I just pass to him. He activates Nadir Servant, which gets him an Apocalypse in his grave. That in turn gets him a Fleur-de-Lis on his hand. He discards one and special summons Ecclesia. After that he gets Dogmatika Punishment on his hand. He special summons Maximus, removes 2 of his monsters, gets Schism back on his hand and destroys my scrap factory. After that he attacks my searcher, sets free and passes to me. He activates punishment and destroys my scrap wyvern, which gets my scrap searcher back. I tribute it for golem and summon searcher on his side of the field. His board is cleared and I attack over searcher with 2200 damage. In main phase 2 I normal summon Scrap Recycler, get a Mecha-Phantombeast in the grave, but on token summon he activates Super Polymerization, tributing both my monsters and getting Mud Dragon off the swamp on the field. I link my token into Link Kuriboh, then special summon 2 Parallel Exceeds. After that I link all my monsters into Nightmare Unicorn, discard 1 and destroys monster. After that he activates Shaddoll Schism, removes 2 of his fusion monsters and gets Shaddoll Wind on the field. This destroys my unicorn and on his turn he attacks me directly and passes back. I normal summon Scrap Recycle, but he reveals Ash, to which I chain Cult by the Grave and still get its effect. For this I get a Roach in the grave, which I then special summon by removing 8. Before I go to battle phase he activates Schism again, gets Shaddoll Construct on the field so I can only pass to him. It's his turn, so he activates Magic Meltdown, gets an Alistair on the field and gets Invocation on the hand. He activates Invocation, removes 2 and gets Mecha on the field. He also gets his Alistair back by shuffling back in his Invocation. Then he attacks my monsters. I try to special summon Searcher, but he negates it with Mecha. After that he passes to me, I draw and only get a Thunder King Ryo, so I realize I've lost and I surrender.
How could this happen to me? I made my mistakes, got nowhere to run, the night goes on. It's time
On this game he wins the dice roll, decides to go first and starts by playing Pot of Desires, removes 10 and then draws 2. He then normal summons Salamangreat Foxy, reveals the top 3 cards and gets Salamangreat Circle on his hand, shuffling the other 2 back in. Then he activates Salamangreat Circle, gets Salamangreat Spinny on his hand. He discards it, boosting Foxy, then special summons it and links both of the monsters into Sunlight Wolf. He sets 2 passes, so I play Terraforming and get Scrap Factory on my hand. I actually don't have a scrap monster, so I normal summon Crystron Rosenix, go to battle phase and attack his monster, destroying both our monsters in the process. I set 2 pass to him, but he passes right back, so I normal summon Jet Synchron and link it into Link Kuriboh. Next I use Crystron Rosenix, get a token and link both of my monsters into Nightmare Phoenix. I discard 1 card to get Jet Synchron back on the field, then I use Monster Reborn on a random monster and link all my monsters into Borisot Dragon, attacking him for 3000 life points. I pass, he summons Buffalo, links into Balings, but I negate it with Solemn Warning. On my turn I have Scrap Factory and Recycle, so he scoops it and we go to round 2.
Round 2. Fight.
On round 2 he goes first, plays Silent Mining, but I negate it with Ash Blossom, so he passes. I summon Thunder King Ryo, attack, set 1 and pass to him. He tries playing Silent Mining, but Ryo negates it. He plays Impermanence, but I negate it with Solemn Judgment. Then he plays Salamangreat Falco and goes into Balings, which also gets its effect negated by Thunder King Ryo. At this point the camera died, so here's what happened. He eventually gets 2 Sunlight Wolves. I still have no scrap monster, but eventually I draw a Scrap Searcher, which I summon. I go into Scrap Wyvern with Scrap Factory as well. I then special summon Scrap Twin Dragon, bounces 2 Sunlight Wolves, and in the next round he has nothing, so I win the game.
Are you bipolar?
I'm by winning. Win here, win there, win everywhere. Absolute victory.
And that's the games for this week. I'm really not satisfied with how this week went. First of all, I had some misplays, especially the one in the third game where I forgot to special summon with Wyvern, which is something I've did I think 100 times so far, and for the first time I forgot. There was a lot of back and forth which confused me, so that's why I probably forgot it, but still that was a thing that can never happen or should never happen, because that's the core of my engine, and maybe the game would have gone differently if I played it correctly. But the biggest problem I had this week, again same as last week, is I had really terrible hands. Especially you saw in the last game, not especially in that one, but in all games, but you saw it in the last game where I had no scrap monsters for most of the game. In the first game I got to some other things with the other cards I had, like with Crystron Rosenix and then into Link Kuriboh, into Nightmare Phoenix, and then finally Boros Sword Dragon. That worked out, but it's not the main focus of the deck. And in the second game as well, you saw I only got the Scrap Searcher really late, and then I could do something which won me the game. But you can't be lucky every week, and eventually the luck will come back, so we'll hope for the next time. But that's not the only thing that happened this week. Last week I told you about David, who sponsored me the special edition pack, and this week he said, well, there's a new booster pack out, so I'm gonna sponsor you some more boosters so you can open them for your videos. And again, I'm really grateful for this opportunity. It also provides me with content and gives you something else to see. So really a big thank you to David for sponsoring those packages. Thank you so much. And now, because I had to open them at store because everybody wanted to see what's in them, here's the video, and I'm gonna put some music over it and overlay the cards that I drew because I didn't really have a good voice recording there. And that's it for this video. I hope you enjoyed the games and the booster opening. Thank you once again to David for sponsoring them. This week wasn't the greatest, but there will be better weeks in the future, so let's look forward to that. And there will be no video next week because I'm actually on vacation. There might be a vacation video, but not a Yu-Gi-Oh video next week, so we will see. If you enjoyed the video, feel free to subscribe and hit the bell button down below. And if you have any feedback or anything you want to tell me in the comments down below. I will respond to any comment that I can. That's it for this week, and until in 2 weeks, have a nice day!